Do you believe in aliens?
Shit, Jesus, it's an alien?
You gotta be egoistic to think that you are the only one in this universe.
They could be anywhere, even
right here. My God, we'd never see the attack coming.
Maybe some of you have met them already.
Put the phone down.
I got a perfect movie on this topic. No One Will Save You, in which the main character uses an office knife and a kitchen lighter to deal with alien invasion and her own past traumas. Hulu is making a big move against its competitors. The streaming service recently released another exclusive, the fantastic horror movie No One Will Save You, and the new film by the director and a screenwriter Brian Duffield has a good chance of establishing itself as a new visionary in the genre. Firstly, I was impressed by Brian Duffield's Directional Debut. The sci-fi comedy is spontaneous, based on Aaron Starmer's novel. In his very first film, the director managed to turn the classic coming-of-age story of high school students upside down with subtle elements of a body horror and a paranoid epidemiological thriller. And he succeeded. Critics and audience warmly embraced the movie. Secondly, in his brief career, Duffield has written the scripts for 3 notable genre projects. You've probably already seen the horrors The Babysitter, Underwater, as well as the comedy Love and Monsters. Well, Brian wrote the stories for them, and if you delve into the director and screenwriter's filmography, his creative method becomes apparent. Brian Duffield always takes the most ordinary concept and pushes it into the extreme by adding elements from the most unexpected genres. In his new work, our hero once again stands out, since making uninteresting alien and UFO horrors became stale after M. Night Shyamalan's Signs, which premiered over 20 years ago. Good writers, screenwriters, and even copywriters have a principle: show, don't tell. Usually it means revealing character through actions rather than descriptions, immersing the reader through events rather than references to them. Director and screenwriter Brian Duffield went further in his second film. By the way, guys, the first one is also worth attention. With a rather ordinary horror title, No One Will Save You, the film completely lacks dialogue, and in 1.5 hours of screen time, fewer than 20 words are spoken. It may seem that with such a visual approach, everything should be obvious, but in reality, the film leaves many questions and room for interpretation.
Was a Chinese guy named Mr. Meow. He's the real gang boss.
In this review, I will try to make sense of what we have seen and explain the meaning of its open-ended conclusion. Attention, now will be spoilers for the movie No One Will Save You ahead. In the movie No One Will Save You, Kaitlyn Dever plays the role of Brynn, a girl leading a reclusive life in the town of Mill River. She lives alone, practices dance, visits her recently deceased mother's grave, and doesn't need help from those around her until one fateful moment. One night, an alien intruder breaks into her home and Brynn accidentally kills it. The next day, she realizes that this is not an isolated incident. The aliens are serious about invading Mill River. If after what I just said now, you thought that watching No One Will Save You would be another survival horror with aliens in their almost classic pop culture form, you'd be partly correct. Most of the movie's runtime is dedicated to Brynn's struggle with invading aliens, even though many episodes lack originality. For example, she fights one of the guests with the boiling water from a saucepot. But this is just the surface and the entertaining part of the story, which upon closer examination turns out to be much deeper. Nobody will save you. That's the point.
no one will save you.
After an attack on her home, Brynn goes to the city for help, but it soon becomes clear that no one will assist her. People refuse to talk to her, and the police chief's wife spits on her. So she does have the only sensible thing. She leaves the town. Well, at least she tries to do so. But when she boards a bus, she's attacked by a local mailman who has been taken over by aliens. Another passenger also begins to attack her, and although Brynn manages to escape, she sees another group of Mill River residents on the way, all looking up at the sky. It's evident that the problem has spread beyond her home, as crop circles appear throughout the city. Brynn decides to prepare for another confrontation with the alien invaders. During the second night, she kills a few more aliens. But they become too numerous, and she is no Alan Ripley. Brynn is caught in one of the beams of the spaceship that freezes her in place, while another alien spews out a parasite that then enters her mouth. When she wakes up, she finds that her house looks perfectly normal, but something is off. She sees her childhood friend Maude, who died when they were 12. "I'm sorry, Maude, I'm sorry," Brynn says to her. This is the only dialogue in the entire film, for reasons that will soon become clear.
I'm sorry.
Realizing that it's just a fantasy, the heroine pulls the parasite out of her throat. From this parasite, the aliens later create a fake Brynn who stabs the real Brynn with a knife. But it's not fatal, and the real girl responds by cutting the throat of her imposter with a utility knife. And the girl's torment doesn't end there, as another spaceship arrives. Brynn is once again caught in a tractor beam, but this time she is lifted inside a saucer. Several aliens observe what's happening, and one of them touches Brynn's forehead and sees her memories, including the time she built a model of the city with her late mother. But most importantly, we finally learn why the residents of Mill River avoided Brynn and why she wrote apology letters to her friend Maude throughout the first half of the film. During the childhood quarrel, Brynn struck Maude, the police chief's daughter, in the head with a rock, accidentally killing her. The aliens continue to watch as Brynn comes face to face with her younger self, and the young Brynn places her hand on the hand of the adult Brynn, finally acknowledging her childhood trauma. And it seems she is now ready to move on. To answer the question in the title, yes, Brynn survived, and she even has a kind of happy ending waiting for her.
What does that mean again?
Bring me back a t-shirt.
Seeing the girl reconciling with herself, the aliens decide to let her go. The next day, Brynn heads to Mill River, and it becomes clear that all the town residents have either been replaced by alien duplicates, as we saw when the fake Brynn was created, or have been taken over by aliens. In any case, Brynn no longer lives among humans. When the Mill River residents wave at the girl, we hear the distinct alien voice that we've heard throughout the entire movie. Later in the evening, Brynn looks happier than ever, dancing with the other residents. Now she has essentially found herself in an ideal town, a model that she and her mother built together, ignoring the fact that everyone except Brynn is now dead. The sight of several spaceships in the sky suggests that this may have happened not only in Mill River. This idyllic scene may seem like a dream, a hallucination, or a near-death experience, but there is an argument in favor of it being reality. Brynn has traces of a healed wound on her head. Why did the aliens decide to leave the girl alone? There is no obvious answer. Perhaps they saw themselves in her, a recluse whom everyone considers a monster and doesn't want to make contact with. Perhaps they realized that Brynn resisted them only because of the past trauma. It's not a coincidence that the random killings of Maude and the first of the aliens are synonymous. And when the girl made the peace with her past, maybe the aliens understood that she would no longer be a problem or threat to them. And since everyone in town had hated the girl for years because of her childhood mistake, Brynn probably wouldn't miss anyone from them. No One Will Save You skillfully balances on the edge of a horror thriller drama and even dark comedy throughout the entire 1.5 hours, never falling into any extremes. Thanks to director Brian Duffield's talent, he combines different genres in such a way that no one of them overshadow or interfere with others. No One Will Save You both frightens and makes you empathize with the main character equally. It's worth praising Duffield for keeping his promises. At first, the director said he wouldn't waste the time and irritate the audience and show the aliens almost immediately. And indeed, it takes almost no time for the hostile aliens to appear. Then the director admitted that he tried to get the most out of the available resources and technologies, and he didn't disappoint. By the standards of a relatively low-budget film, around $23 million, this science fiction movie looks excellent. It consistently delights with unconventional artistic decisions. Moreover, No One Will Save You pays attention to details. To be honest, in terms of world building and narrative elements, this horror film reminded me of Steven Spielberg's early works. Instead of peeling on standard special effects and plot cliches, Duffield carefully focuses the viewer attention on various nuances. As a result, you realize that you're watching a well-crafted and throughout piece of old school cinema targeted for a modern audience. If the science fiction horror film No One Will Save You has any shortcomings, you don't notice them while watching. And in general, the horror film turns out to be rare rare beast, a genre film that is not devoid of internal logic and delivers a brutally honest ending to the audience. With other words, truly a bright start to the Halloween movie season of 2023. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, and please comment below of what you thought about this movie. See you in the next episode.
2, 3.